Millie Bobby Brown didn't just finish Stranger Things and move on. She did something smarter. She positioned herself so the next chapter still belongs to her. Because while most actors leave a huge show and scramble for whatever comes next, Millie is staying in control, staying in the Netflix spotlight, and stacking projects that hit completely different audiences. First, Enola Holmes 3. This franchise is basically her proof that she can lead a global hit without Stranger Things carrying the weight. Netflix has already said she's back as Enola, and the third film has wrapped production, which means it's not a maybe, it's coming. And it's bigger than people think, because Enola isn't just a character. Enola is Millie's brand lane: smart, fast, likable, rewatchable. That's the kind of franchise that keeps pulling new fans in every year. But here's the twist. Millie isn't staying in one lane. She's also jumping into a Netflix romantic comedy called Just Picture It, starring opposite Gabriel LaBelle. And if you've watched her career closely, you know why this matters. A rom-com is not a small choice. It's a reputation choice. It tells the industry, I can be light, I can be charming, I can carry a different tone. And rom-coms are some of the most shareable movies online. They travel on clips, they travel on quotes, they travel on, this scene made me feel something. Therefore, this isn't just another job. It's her expanding her range on purpose. But the biggest play might be what she's building behind the camera. Millie is also developing an adaptation of her own novel, 19 Steps, as a Netflix film. Think about what that means. She's not only acting in other people's stories, she's turning into the person who creates the stories. That's the move you make when you want longevity, because acting careers can spike and dip. But producing and owning projects, that's where real power sits. So when you put these three together, Enola 3, a rom-com, and a book adaptation, you start to see the pattern. Millie is building a portfolio. One project keeps her as the face of a franchise. One project makes her feel fresh to a wider audience. And one project pushes her into the creator lane, where she can shape what she becomes next. And Netflix isn't treating her like just the star either. On the Tudum side, they've been clear that she's been involved at the producer level. She executive produced Enola Holmes 3, and she's been shepherding Just Picture It from early on, not just showing up on set. That's important because it changes how you read her choices. When a project is yours, you don't pick it because you're free this summer. You pick it because it fits the bigger plan. So the headline isn't Millie has new movies. The headline is, Millie is building a post-Stranger Things pipeline. So if you're wondering who wins after Stranger Things, watch the person who's not waiting to be picked. She's picking the projects. Maya Hawke just made the smartest post-Stranger Things move possible. She didn't pick a random film. She didn't disappear into art house. She jumped into one of the most proven franchises on the planet. Maya Hawke has been cast as Wiress in The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping, and the movie is set for November 20th, 2026. If you know Hunger Games fans, you already know what happens next. Trailers get dissected frame by frame. Casting announcements become trend cycles, and every character becomes a who are they really obsession. That's why this matters. Wiress isn't just a name. Wiress is one of the most memorable victors in the series lore. Brilliant, odd, and terrifyingly observant. The kind of character who notices the pattern before everyone else does. And if you've watched Maya as Robin in Stranger Things, you can see why this casting clicks. She plays smart in a way that feels real, not perfect, not robotic. Smart like someone who's always 2 steps ahead, but still human. Therefore, Hunger Games is basically handing her a new signature role. In the original films, Wiress was the kind of character you couldn't forget, even when she barely spoke. She was the person who saw the system underneath the arena. The person who solved the puzzle while everyone else was still panicking. So this isn't a background part. It's a character that can steal a scene with a look, a whisper, or one unsettling realization. And that's exactly the type of role that clips well on YouTube and TikTok, because it creates instant theories. What did she mean? What did she notice? What does she know that the Capitol doesn't want anyone to know? But Sunrise on the Reaping isn't just another prequel either. This story sits 24 years before the original Hunger Games movies. It's tied to the 50th Hunger Games, the second quarter quell, and it's built around a young Haymitch, meaning this film is going to be brutal, emotional, and full of origin story moments that fans will replay for years. And that's where Wireless becomes a weapon, because prequels live or die on two things: new characters you care about, and familiar pieces that connect the whole universe. Wireless is a familiar piece. She's a bridge. So when Maya Hawke steps into that role, she's not just joining a cast, she's stepping into the franchise's lore engine. And from a viral point of view, that's gold. You get three audiences at once: Stranger Things fans following Robin, Hunger Games fans starving for anything Panem, and casual movie fans who only show up when something looks like a big event. Now here's the bigger read. This casting signals that Maya isn't being treated as a TV actor. She's being treated as franchise ready. Hunger Games doesn't cast this wide for no reason. They pick people who can handle intensity, carry scenes, and become memeable in one line. Maya has already proven she can do that. So if you're tracking the post-Stranger Things careers, this is a major checkpoint. It's Marvel on one side, Netflix empires on the other, and now Hunger Games joins the list. Maya Hawke just locked herself into the conversation. Sadie Sink just stepped into the most locked down role in Hollywood. Not a new movie, not a cool cameo. A Marvel role so secret that even the people around her aren't saying a word. All we know for sure is this: Sadie Sink is officially joining the cast of Spider-Man: Brand New Day, and the film is dated for July 31st, 2026. But here's the part that should grab every Stranger Things fan. Sadie has done the Netflix secrecy machine. She's lived inside "don't spoil the ending" rules for years, and she still said Spider-Man is even more secretive. Therefore, the question isn't, is Sadie in the MCU? The question is, why are they hiding who she is? Because Marvel doesn't lock a character down like this unless it changes the board. Brand New Day isn't just a title either. It's a signal. This is the Spider-Man reset story. New chapter, new people, new problems. After No Way Home wiped Peter Parker from everyone's memory, the next film has one job: build a new world around him. And that's where Sadie comes in. There are three lanes Marvel usually plays when they cast someone with serious fan heat and keep the role quiet. Lane 1, the next emotional anchor. That's a character who will sit close to Peter's life, not just his battles. Think new classmate, new partner, new person who actually sees him. If Marvel is rebuilding Peter's world, they need someone the audience instantly cares about. Sadie is built for that. Lane 2, the surprise universe card. This is where the rumors go crazy, because Marvel loves to plant seeds for what's coming next. Some fans have guessed mutants. Some have guessed a new Mary Jane type role. Some have guessed a character that spins straight into Avengers level stories. And to be clear, that's all speculation right now. But the secrecy is what feeds it. Lane 3, the hidden threat. Sometimes the new cast member isn't here to save Peter. They're here to test him. A villain reveal, a twist, a character who looks harmless until the mask comes off. So what should you actually watch for? Watch for how Marvel talks about the role. If the official marketing keeps saying significant and mysterious, that usually means it's not a random side character. Watch for who she's paired with in interviews and promo. Marvel doesn't do that by accident. And watch the tone of the film. If Brand New Day is a fresh start, then Sadie might be the person who pulls Peter back into a life he's trying to rebuild. Because that's the real hook. Spider-Man's life just got erased. Sadie Sink's character is about to walk into the empty space. And once we learn who she is, we'll know what Marvel's next era actually looks like. One more thing, this isn't a random indie pivot. This is the Tom Holland Spider-Man, with the main crew expected back, directed by Destin Daniel Cretton. That matters because it tells you the scale. This isn't a spin-off. This is the next core Spider-Man chapter. So when you see Sadie's name in that lineup, it's not just casting news. It's Marvel saying, this person matters in the next phase.
I like to imagine that she's in a beautiful land, somewhere far away, safe from the danger of the Black Hand. At last, that she finds peace, that she finally finds happiness, that she finds a small town to call home. But imagination is just a ghost. It keeps you going, but it doesn't hold you back. I couldn't just close my eyes and hope you were out there. I had to know. Everyone told me to let it be.
Stranger Things is over. The credits rolled. The door closed. The party walked up the basement stairs. But that empty feeling you've got right now, that wait, that's it? Itch? Netflix is banking on that. Because as of January 2026, the Stranger Things universe is not shrinking. It's expanding. So in this video, I'm giving you the full roadmap of what comes next, what's officially confirmed, what's strongly reported and likely, and what fans keep asking for, but probably isn't happening. No fluff. No pretending rumors are real. I'll label everything so you know exactly what to believe. Let's start with the most important point. The Duffer Brothers are not building a Marvel-style universe where you need 12 shows to understand one scene. They keep describing the future as standalone stories with connective tissue. Same vibe, same storytelling sensibility. But different corners of the world, different characters, different rules. Therefore, if you want your Stranger Things fix after the ending, you need to know one thing. Which projects are actually real? Category 1. Confirmed. Official. Announced. First up, Stranger Things, Tales from '85. This is the big one for people who just want the original feeling back. It's an animated series coming in 2026, set in the winter of 1985, between Season 2 and Season 3. And yes, it follows the original Hawkins kids again. 11, Mike, Dustin, Lucas, and the whole crew. But here's the detail people keep missing. This isn't a cartoon recap. It's being pitched like a Saturday morning cartoon-style adventure. And animation matters because it removes the limits. Live action always has constraints. Budget, time, what you can actually show on screen. But animation can go bigger, weirder, more creature-heavy, more paranormal mystery every episode without needing a blockbuster budget. Now, one thing to set expectations. Even though the characters are the same, it's expected to be a new voice cast. Not the live action actors. That doesn't kill it. But it does mean you should treat it like its own flavor of Stranger Things, not just Season 2.5. Here's why Tales from '85 is secretly a lore goldmine. The early descriptions tease that it's basically Hawkins' lab science meets upside-down matter. That one idea opens a door. Because the main show didn't have time to explore every experiment, every leftover entity, every strange side effect, every loose thread from the lab's work. So Tales from '85 can do what the live action couldn't. It can show you new experiments, new creatures, new rules, and if it's set between Seasons 2 and 3, it can also explain why certain things in Hawkins feel like they changed without anyone acknowledging it. Second confirmed project, Stranger Things, The First Shadow. This one is already real, already live on stage, and it might be the most important piece of canon in the entire franchise right now. It's a prequel set in 1959 Hawkins, young Jim Hopper, young Joyce Maldonado, and the origin story of Henry Creel. And I need you to hear this clearly. This play is not a fun side story. It's considered canon, and it's been described as critical to understanding the deeper lore of the series, especially Henry's transformation and how his connection to the bigger entity works. In fact, the Duffers have said they cut a scene from Season 5 because it referenced details that would confuse people who hadn't seen the play. That is insane. That means the play contains information the show wanted to use, but had to hold back. So if you're the kind of viewer who lives for rules and blueprints, The First Shadow is basically the official lore vault, because most fans will never see the play. They'll want the clean guide, the timeline, the key reveals. The "here's what it means for the finale" breakdown. Now, the third confirmed piece is the one that makes everyone nervous. The untitled live-action spin-off. This is not season 6. This is not the Hawkins gang grown up. This is not Steve and Dustin do Monster of the Week. The Duffers have basically set one hard rule. Clean slate, new characters, new location, new story, new creative team driving it forward. They've even said it won't be about obvious returning characters like Eleven, Steve, Dustin, or even someone like Holly Wheeler. So if you're waiting for the next show to keep the same cast alive, you're going to be waiting a long time. But that doesn't mean you should ignore this spin-off, because the Duffers have also teased something very specific. A small Vecna-related detail from the finale is being positioned as important connective tissue for what comes next. They've hinted that this spin-off will explore that thread. Therefore, even though the cast changes, the mythology can still deepen. And that's the best case scenario for fans like us. A show that feels fresh, but still answers questions the original show left sitting there. Okay, that's the confirmed roadmap. Now, category 2, in development / strongly reported. This is where one project keeps showing up over and over. Stranger Things, Tokyo. This one has been heavily reported as an anime-style expansion set in 1980s Tokyo. The rumored premise is simple but powerful. Video game-loving twin brothers encounter the Upside Down on the outskirts of Tokyo, and it turns into a grand adventure. It's also been rumored to be around 6 hours total runtime. Now here's why Tokyo is the smartest possible expansion, because it answers the biggest question the main show barely touched. If the Upside Down is a real force, why would it only ever matter in one small town in Indiana? A Tokyo story lets Netflix show that this phenomenon can spread. It can manifest in different cultures, different cities, different rules. And best of all, it does it without dragging the original cast back in and breaking the finale's emotional closure. So if Stranger Things is going global, Tokyo is the cleanest way to do it. Now category 3, debunked rumors and failed fan hope projects. This is where I'm going to save you months of waiting. First, the Collie / Lost Sister spin-off. People have been arguing about this since season 2, but it's been directly debunked. There was never a plan for a backdoor pilot. It's not secretly coming. Second, the 11 solo spin-off. This one keeps popping up because 11 is the face of the franchise. But the Duffers have been clear about the spin-off direction. They want new characters and new locations. A solo 11 show is the opposite of that. Third, the idea that Stranger Things is becoming an MCU-style interconnected web. They've rejected the insanely convoluted mythology direction. Instead, they keep describing standalone stories with connective tissue, meaning you won't need to watch everything to understand everything. But if you do watch everything, you'll see the bigger picture. Finally, the fun category. Fan theories and fan wishes. This is where the internet lives. Steve and Dustin Road Trip, Nancy Detective Journalist Show. A Hopper and Joyce prequel series. These are great ideas, but based on what the Duffers have said, anything that relies on the main cast returning as the core of a spin-off is unlikely. If we get versions of these, it'll probably be in animation, limited specials, or one-off stories. Not a long-running live-action series. Because the whole strategy appears to be this. Keep the original show sacred. Let it end. Let it matter. But keep the universe alive with fresh entry points. So here's the simplest way to understand the future of Stranger Things. Tales from '85 gives you the comfort food. The original kids, Hawkins, new mysteries. The First Shadow gives you the canon lore, Henry's origin, the deeper rules. The pieces the show didn't fully say out loud. And the live-action spin-off gives you the next era. A new town, a new cast, a new nightmare. Same DNA, different story. Therefore, the question isn't, will we get season 6? The question is, which part of this universe do you want next? Because on this channel, we're not done. Next, I'm breaking down what Tales from '85 can reveal that live action never could. Then, I'm doing the cleanest First Shadow lore guide on YouTube, so you don't need a theater ticket to understand the canon. And finally, we're tracking every clue about the live action spin-off until Netflix confirms the new location and the new decade. If you're still watching, comment New Town if you want the spin-off set outside the US. Or comment Back to Hawkins if you only care about '85.